This podcast is intended for adult audiences over the age of 18. The podcast includes adult language, situations, sexually explicit material. Listeners, please be advised.
Welcome to Nextdoor Swing, a podcast about lifestyle travel and events, hosted by veteran lifestyle couple Cora and Max. In each episode, we hope to entertain, educate, and provide information based on our own personal experiences. The views, thoughts, and ideas expressed are solely our own and not to be taken as professional advice. Welcome to episode 6. We're talking today all about naughty nolins.
Yeah, and it's lots of naughty.
It is lots of naughty. Before we get to talking about that, a little update on where we are at. We are recording this mid-January. We are still in Florida. We are hanging out at...
Well, we are over in Auburndale, just on the other side of Lakeland at Margaritaville and enjoying the sun. Yeah, it's a little cold, but you know what? It's a Florida kind of cold. So, we're talking like 60s and 70s. As you can tell, I'm in shorts today. It's been in the 30s at night the last couple of nights, but we are now getting lots of sun and we're getting out and enjoying it. So
that's right.
Lots of fun going on here. And we are excited that we are continually, doing these episodes for you guys, getting caught up. And we have had the launch. The launch has gone off in the last week or two. And I tell you what, we are very excited and thankful for all you guys that are out there subscribing. So thank you.
Please get out there, listen to the podcasts, listen to the YouTube, like, share, send to your friends. And also, if you could comment on the YouTube episodes, that really helps, like the algorithm, because we're just a little small channel, so it helps helps us to grow.
And as you can tell, we are still here in our RV. We're right here in our living room of our RV, and we are getting ready to get on the road in March, and hoping that we will bring to you lots of crazy episodes of all of our sexy adventures around the United States.
That's right. And between now and March, we're going to be doing more episodes and research.
Lots of
research here in Florida.
Yep.
All right. Well, let's get to our episode all about naughty nolins. We'll be right back.
Right after this break. All right, we're back, and we're here talking about naughty in New Orleans. Now, I'll tell you, we have been to naughty New Orleans the last 2 years, and I will have to say it's probably one of my favorite events, especially in our travels so far. Yeah, it's been great.
All right, so let's start with the what. What is naughty Nolins? It is a lifestyle convention. It is a convention. Yes. Huge. It's very, very large. It started in 1999. Last year, they celebrated 25 years.
25 years. And I'll tell you what, Bob and his crew, and I'll tell you what, when you meet Bob, you will not forget Bob.
That's right.
Bob is an amazing individual, and I don't know how he does it. He goes and his crew, they do such an amazing job. But it's a multi-hotel takeover. This year, they're actually doing 3 hotels. The last couple of years, there's been 2, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. But I'll tell you, it's some of the best entertainment, some of the best DJs, and I'll tell you, it's a great, great time. And there's a lot of sexy people, and the age ranges are all over the place.
Yeah, it is. So with the entertainment, every night there are multiple parties. Like at the hotels, there are ballrooms, and in the different ballrooms, they have different DJs. What were the DJ styles?
Well, and before we get to the DJ styles, what I think is great about this is like one of the biggest things for Bob and his crew is they want to bring together all kinds of different groups of the lifestyle. I mean, talking from the gay lesbian crowd all the way to whatever you want to call it, right? And BDSM crowd, all of that. And what they want to do is they really want to create a forum for all like-minded people that just want to be able to enjoy themselves, have a good time. So getting into that entertainment, what they do is they typically have every night of the week or every night of the takeover, they have a group that is sponsored to take over one of the DJ rooms or the conference rooms that they turn into this blowout of a, kind of an EDM festival inside the conference room. And each group will take over and they'll do events. We were fortunate last couple of years to actually be part of a group that actually took over an event, and they do daytime pool parties. They do parties on Bourbon Street throughout the day. They do takeovers at different bars. It is a blast, and there's so many people there enjoying themselves and having so much fun.
All right, so you had mentioned the theme parties in the ballrooms. There's multiple ballrooms having multiple different styles of music, so people can go to different ballrooms. Now, what about the Bourbon Street bar takeovers? Tell us more about that.
If you want to indulge yourself in a lot...
These are daytime parties.
This is daytime, and of course, it's So we'll get to when this occurs, but it's typically in July. So if you want to talk about hot and sweaty, and you want to have some hot and sweaty, sexy fun, I'll tell you what, on Bourbon Street during the day, during the takeovers, it's a blast. And different groups, again, they'll take over at different times. And you can look on the website, and we'll give that information in a minute. You can get on the website and you can find out what parties are being held in what club at what time. And for instance, the first year we went, we were able to take over with our group, this great bar on a second story, and we had a blast. It got a little crazy. Our DJ was killing it. And next thing you know, we had people naked on the dance floor, and then all of us were outside throwing beads off the second story balcony to people along the street. And it was a blast.
And these are private to get in. In order to get into the bar, you have to have a badge.
Good point. That's a great point.
You have to have a badge to get in. And there's security at these bars. So when the bars are taken over, it's only by people who are registered to come to
Naughty New Orleans events. Yep.
And that's the case for all the bars. That's the case for the hotels, and getting in and out of the hotels. It's very secure. I like that.
But the daytime parties, you're talking, so usually there's 1 to 2 foam parties. We got to host this past year a foam party, and it was insane.
Yeah, it was great.
So much fun. And we were out dancing in the middle of the foam at 1 second, and we looked around and we're like, holy shit, there's people having sex in the foam, and we're like, that looks like fun.
It looks like fun.
So yeah, it was a lot of fun. We had a good time.
All right, so pool parties. It's in July. That's a good place to be, right?
You got to have pool parties in July.
And so tell me about the pool parties.
So the pool parties, usually again, there's 3 hotels this year. The last 2 years, there's only been 2. So typically there is a pool party at each pool or each hotel during the day. And again, it's hosted by certain groups. And then sometimes there's even multiple parties during the day. So you might go from one party right into another, and the vibe is amazing. And I'm talking a pretty decent sized pool to where you cannot fit another person in there unless you put baby oil on it.
They were shoulder to shoulder for sure.
Shoulder to shoulder, and it was amazing.
These parties are simultaneously going on. So there might be a party on Bourbon Street, like a foam party, and a pool party going on at the same time, and a second story party at the same time. And you have to kind of pick and choose what you want to go to and what group you may, want to go and hang out with.
That is a great point. And again, because there's 3 hotels, or last year, like we said, 2 hotels, there are multiple events going on at the same time. So you kind of have to pay attention to what's going on. Oh, and not even just the bars and the parties. They also put on classes and
Right. I was just getting ready to mention that. Like there are seminars, workshops, classes. Those are primarily held in the morning through the early afternoon. But it's on all topics you can think of. They are held in both hotels. And they always have a schedule for that. You can plan when to go. Another thing that they have during this event at Naughty Nolans is called a Sexual Freedom Parade, the only one of its kind, where the street is closed, Bourbon Street is closed, and it is a parade of all of our lifestyle spectrum people going down the street, and
plenty of floats, throwing beads, of course. It is New Orleans.
Floats. That's a big deal. I kind of want to talk about, and there's vendors. I forgot about the vendors. There are vendors that come. So different groups talking about their resorts or clubs, different people selling things like earrings and toys and lingerie and things of that nature. So a variety of vendors.
Yeah, and a lot of different podcasters are there.
Yes.
Tons of podcasters, and they'll have little booths. Wifey.com was there. They did for the first year last year. Got to talk with those guys. They're amazing. They're fun as well. But it's just a whole spectrum of people that Bob and his crew wants to bring together and have a lot of fun. So I will say too, and I think this is where Miss Cora is getting ready to go with this. So let me just throw it this way. So what'd you think of the playrooms?
It was the best playroom experience that I have ever been in 12 years. I want to highlight the playroom experience because it was so well done. Now, we've been in playrooms in a variety of clubs, a variety of parties, on cruises, and really in Naughty Nolans, it was the best play experience as far as playrooms I have seen. When we first walked into the Playroom, it is on the second floor, and I think it's second floor of the Crown Astor, and they take over the entire floor. Now,
the entire floor. So
hotels,
every nook and cranny, they take out all the stuff in all the rooms, and they turn it all into playrooms.
Into playrooms. And there, when you first walk in, you do have to derobe, and so you have to get out of street clothes. You can stay in underwear or in lingerie.
Yep. And to go back to the security piece, as Ms. Cora said just a minute ago, so when you get off the elevator, you have to have your badge. Nobody's allowed on this floor unless you're part of the Naughty New Orleans crew. So you have to have your badge with you at all times.
And then inside the playrooms, every room is manned by a volunteer or an employee of Naughty Nawlins. So it was very safe. I liked that. I liked that there were people there. Speaking of the rooms, it was such a diverse, wide variety of styles of rooms.
Insane. You can't think of anything. Yeah.
They had multiple couples only room. They had group playrooms. They had a dark room where everything was pitch dark, where you go in and you don't know who you're touching. They had a woman glory hole room, a male glory hole room. They had a sexual freedom room where it included, bi,
lesbians, everything.
That type of thing was welcome in that room.
They had BBC room for those of you
there
like
was
that.
a BBC room only, which was a little exciting.
Yep.
And the style of the room. So there was great lighting. I think that's important. There was low music playing in the background.
Amazing security for all of these guys that are concerned about security.
Right. And then also what I love are they have these beautiful sheer curtains in between some of the some of the beds, but and then some didn't have those between. Those were the group areas. It was more of an open style play. So I loved it. The playrooms, hands down, the best playrooms I've ever been in.
And Bob, I've told you this to your face before, hands down, the best playrooms and the best setup of playrooms ever experienced in our 12 years. So big kudos to Bob and his crew.
Good job. All right, so that is the what of Naughty Nawlins.
Did we cover it all?
There was a lot.
There was a lot because there's a lot to take in at Naughty Nawlins.
I think we covered it just about all, as much as we can. So let's talk about the who. The who. This event draws 3,000 people a year to this event. And I think my favorite part of it is it's all spectrums of the lifestyle. To include those are just curious. We often talk about the people just being curious in the lifestyle. You don't have to be a swinger to be lifestyle. You don't have to play with other couples. You don't even have to play with other people to be part of the lifestyle. You can just enjoy the vibe, right? Go to the party, dance on the dance floor, get be able to talk openly about sexual experiences with others. You don't have to do anything.
And what we have talked about here multiple times, the communication between you as a couple or, if you're single or whatever you want to do is acceptable.
It is.
And it only has to come back to you and what you want to do.
Right.
Nobody else gets to dictate to you what you want to do.
That's exactly
And that's what Naughty New Orleans is all about. With the whole sexual freedom, it's amazing and fun.
That's what I loved about it is that spectrum, it hit all of the spectrum. It hit the curious people. It hit the poly people, the gay, the lesbian, the all LGBTQ, all the swinger, everyone in between. And that is who. As far as the ages, the average age, it kind of, was probably between 40 and 60. There were definitely younger people. There were definitely older people. I would say most of them were married couples, most of them professional. But then that curious piece still just comes back. It was really open to new people, and I love that.
And one thing that caught my eye this year, and we've not just even at Naughty New Orleans, but all the other places that we've been, something that I think is becoming more of a trend is that we're starting to see much younger crowds start to come out to these events.
Yes.
And I think that has to do with the simple fact that it's becoming more, I don't want to say popular, but more acceptable.
Yeah.
More acceptable around society in general. So we absolutely love that. And that's almost kind of why we like bringing these episodes to you too, to kind of help those younger crowd learn from us. Seasoned folks. Let's put it that way. I was about to throw out the old word there, but no, but yeah.
That's interesting because over our 12 years, we have seen it develop into becoming more acceptable, which is great to see.
I love it. Absolutely love it.
All right. Where does this event take place?
Well,
the city.
It says the name says it all. Naughty New Orleans. I mean, it's right in New Orleans. Yeah. It's right downtown, right off Bourbon Street. So the three hotels are the Saint is the new one they're adding this year. the Astor Crown Royal, which is the big one, which is the main event, called the main event. And that's where they have most of the vendors as well.
Yeah.
And then the other one is, help me out here, the Nopsy. Now, last year, so talking with Bob last year, they did a little something different last year, which I thought was kind of cool. They actually put all the BDSM stuff over in the Nopsy and then had everything else kind of going on over at the Astor. Excited to see what goes on this year. Haven't talked to Bob here recently, but that's kind of what was set up last year. So I imagine they'll probably do something along the same lines. But they had vendors in both, and they had events going on in both, and they had playrooms, but then they also had classes going on in each one of them as well. So if you're in the area, and again, you don't even have to stay in any one of those 3 hotels. If there's plenty of Airbnbs, there's plenty of other hotels and other locations to stay down there as well.
Now, they do say on the website, and I would agree with this as well, that they do kind of recommend you do stay at one of the takeover hotels,
I would too.
because you're in the loop. Because the first year we stayed at a hotel offsite, and then I felt kind of out of the loop a bit.
It was kind of a pain actually too, and then you had to walk to all the different events. We put some miles on.
Yeah, there was a lot of walking.
Which at some points it was good because we had to walk off the the buzz that we had.
Yeah. I do want to reiterate here the whole security piece at the hotels. When you walk up to the door, there's a security guard outside the door and there's a security guard inside the door. Yep. Those security guards are not letting you through unless you have a badge. I really appreciate that.
Let's take a minute and talk about the badges. So on day 1, there's a registration day where you have to show up and you have to come in, show ID, and then they'll give you a little goodie bag, but they'll give you your badge that allows you into all the different events, to include the ones on Bourbon Street. And this which is also cool too, because you could be out doing something outside of the realm of Naughty New Orleans and come across people wearing the same badge, and it automatically gives you something to talk about. Exactly. So that's kind of cool as a little icebreaker. But you go into registration, you get registered, you get your little badge, and they kind of go over the rules with you right there, then and there, to kind of make sure everybody has a solid foundation of what to expect. So I love it. Again, Bob, great job with the crew.
They do a really good job talking about etiquette. I believe we had to sign a waiver.
And all that.
And then also, if you lose your badge, you're paying, I think, $50 to get a new one. So don't lose that badge.
You're paying attention to where that badge is at.
Yeah. Because they don't want the badge to get in the wrong hands. And rightfully so. That makes me feel very safe as, a couple being there.
Yep.
All right.
I think we've covered the where. Now I think it's time to get into the meat and potatoes of what's coming up for this year. When is it?
So you had mentioned July. It is held in July. This year in 2026, it is July 8th through the 12th.
Yep.
And I already looked up the theme nights in case.
Of course you did.
Because that is kind of my world. So
organization is what turns her on.
It's my love language.
Yep.
Bordella night is a theme, and then Through the Looking Glass, which is kind of like, that's kind of a play on Alice in Wonderland. Yep. And then Neon Night and Mardi Gras night. So
you got to have a neon night. You can't have a party without having a glow night.
Exactly.
Yeah. And also, so the reason why we're bringing this episode to you now, because you might feel as if this might be a little out of whack, because we did it last year, but we wanted to give this to you now, this time of year. So then you got planned to go there this July, in July 2026.
Right.
Because you don't want to miss it, I promise you.
Yeah. So speaking of that, how you find out about this is their website is called naughty-events.com. naughty-events.com. On this website at the top, you have to click on Naughty Nawlins, and then it'll give you, and that's where you register for the hotel. Now, the party fee is separate from the hotel fee. So every person, I think there's an individual price or a couple price for the actual party, and that covers all the DJs and all the, the vendors being there and all that. And then there's a separate hotel price that you pay. And then also I wanted to mention that Naughty Events hosts a variety of other style events as well. They host parties in Miami, and they've actually gone to Amsterdam before, and they do international and national in United States events.
Yep. So and also, let's get down to the why. Why would you want to go? Mm-hmm. Well, honestly, for me, the big why, the answer to why is because it's a full spectrum event, and it is so much fun. There's so much to do inside and outside of the lifestyle. New Orleans is a great city, so why not?
Yeah, I agree. I think the why for me is the same thing. I loved seeing the wide variety of spectrum of lifestyle people.
Yep.
To me, that's what the lifestyle embodies, is whenever someone who is curious about our world and someone who's been in our world for years and years, or maybe a poly couple or even a lesbian couple or whatever it may be, can come together and have that freedom of being together. I love that. Love it. Love it.
All right. So I think we've covered everything.
We have a mailbag question.
So we'll take a quick break, and then we will come back with our mailbag question. All right, we're back for our mailbag question of the day. And the question is?
All right, we received a question regarding Naughty Nolans, and it had to do with the safety on Bourbon Street. Someone mentioned, hey, I don't think New Orleans is a very safe city. I don't know that I want to attend for that. There are ways you can be safe.
Yeah, well, and I'll tell you what. So the first year we went, I had that exact same thought process. Being ex-military, the very first thing I thought of was, the being safe on Bourbon Street. Well, I'll tell you, the very first year, I didn't feel so. Well, actually, I take that back. We went outside of Naughty New Orleans, and it was a different event before going to Naughty New Orleans. But I tell you, Bourbon Street at that point was not, I don't want to say it wasn't safe. There was just a lot of crowded people who just... they were disrespectful. Let me just put it that way. And there were a lot of things going on that we didn't feel safe. However, after the recent events that have gone on there, to include the Super Bowl last year, I will say last year when we went to Naughty New Orleans there, I felt completely 90% more safe on Bourbon Street than I did the year before. It was remarkable what the city has done. They've painted the roads, they've cleaned up the roads, they've washed the roads every night. And I'm not talking about just washing it down with water. They're actually cleaning it with soap, and because it gets nasty down there. Let's just say it the way it is. But I'll tell you, especially in July. And I'll tell you, they've done a great job. The city has done a great job of cleaning up Bourbon Street and making it a little bit more respectful, as well as there's now cameras. It was kind of weird to me before that there were cameras outside of Bourbon Street, like a lot around outside the French Quarter, but now they actually have police cameras right on Bourbon Street, and you can see them all over the place, which I think deters a lot of the stuff going on down there. So when it comes to safety on Bourbon Street, absolutely. I wouldn't be walking around, flashing a lot of money. I wouldn't be walking around with expensive, stuff. But if you're going to have it on you, make sure it's tucked away inside pockets, even in your back pocket. I wouldn't put your phone necessarily in your back pocket. That's a very easy way to pickpocket. Just be, cognizant of what you're doing, where you're doing. If you're in a group, make sure one of you has a, whereabouts of themselves, and just watch what's going on around you. Head on the swivels, we always like to say, and just watch out what's going on. But as far as Bourbon Street in itself, I've completely felt much safer this past year. And again, big kudos to the city of New Orleans for cleaning up their act.
Right. Something I want to mention is that I think that all of that is great before midnight. I think that after midnight,
nothing ever good goes on unless it's in her bedroom.
Street was not a good place to be after midnight. Yeah. So especially when it was just you and I by ourselves walking through the street. When we were in a group, I felt much safer, obviously. So, if you are nervous about that, I would say go in a group. Yep.
And or just get off the streets by midnight, which again, that you can probably say that about most places, right? Most big cities anyway. That nothing good usually happens after midnight. So take it to your room, take it to your room, take it to your room.
Yep. All right. So thank you for listening this far. I want to talk to you about episode 7.
Episode 7. Wow, we're already on 7?
I know. We are starting a new series with episode 7. We are going to do what's called a Tampa series because we are from Tampa. So we have a variety of places in Tampa that we want to talk to you about, and we are going to talk about them simultaneously. Yeah,
and let me give you a little bit of insight into how we got to this Tampa series things. That, obviously when we moved to Tampa, a lot of people told us, hey, it's the mecca of the lifestyle swinger world. So you got to move here. So we were like, yeah, crap, whatever. Everybody tells you that. But when we got there, I tell you what, it is. And now there's obviously clubs everywhere and there's groups everywhere. So we thought we would just kind of group all those clubs and places together and bring them all to you guys. And of course, a lot of our friends and people in our community here in Tampa, you're gonna be like, yep, we've done that with that, yep.
Or you may not have done that or done it in a few years, and maybe we can convince you to go back. Yeah. Or not, one or the other. But coming up in episode 7, we are starting the Tampa series, so I hope you come on back. Thanks so much for joining us.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening. Please support us by sharing this episode with your friends and other lifestylers.
Also, follow our social medias. At Instagram, we are Nextdoor Swing. YouTube is Nextdoor Swing, and Facebook is also Nextdoor Swing. And if you want to check out our spicy content, head on over to OnlyFans, and the link is Nextdoor Swing.